Thanks for joining us here at 6. I'm Stacey Van Dyke.
And I'm Justin Betty. We begin tonight with new details surrounding the arrest of a well-known Black Lives Matter activist in Fargo and her husband. Faith and Charles Dixon face several felony theft-related charges, accused of a major fraud investigation. Court documents show the Faith for Hope Scholarship Fund received hundreds of thousands of dollars in grant funding.
Documents allege rather than use the money for its intended purpose to help children in need, Faith kept it for herself and her family members. Valley News Team's Courtney Lockie has been combing through the paperwork all afternoon. She joins us live tonight in studio with what she found. Courtney.
Stacey, Justin, the North Dakota BCI started looking into Faith for Hope in September 2023. This was done at the request of the Department of Public Instruction. The state pulled their funding and says that Faith now owes them $70,000. Documents lay out a detailed timeline of how all of this came about. Faith registered her nonprofit in 2016. It's described as an after-school program that supports students in developing skills and habits to help them succeed. In 2021, the state awarded her $350,000. Faith was to work alongside other local businesses and nonprofits. Now that same year, she submitted 3 requests for reimbursement, totaling roughly $170,000. That's when the state started their compliance check. They were concerned about 2 things: the lack of fiscal control and conflicts of interest. Documents show Faith designated thousands for businesses owned by her family members. Diesel Double Barrel Barbecue, owned by her father. Be the Light Dance Studio, owned by her sister-in-law. Revolution Records, her brother. Identity Design Studio, Angela Scaff, the VP of her nonprofit. Court papers also give us a look at Faith's bank statements. She was dumping the grant money into the nonprofit account. However, on several occasions, she and her husband withdrew money from that account and moved it into their personal accounts, $16,000 in all. They made several ATM withdrawals. They bought a lot of fast food, gas, groceries, personal expenses. A couple of other things to note: the Great Plains Food Bank terminated its partnership with Faith after learning she had been selling the food that they donated to her program. Faith also owes the Department of Human Services about $5,000. One of her organizations, Children of Hope, ceased operations in 2022. However, Faith continued to submit reimbursement requests. Justin, Stacey.
All right, thank you, Courtney. Now, if convicted, Faith faces 45 years in prison. She denied our request for a jailhouse interview this afternoon.
Yeah, however, join us tonight on Valley News Live at 10 for an exclusive interview. Valley News Team Sydney Zatz, as you see, spoke exclusively with Faith Dixon's husband, Charles Dixon, who we said is also charged. Hear what he has to say about this whole case tonight, only on Valley News Live at 10.